Hey there. Um, uh, Last week I showed you how to make a pull tab spinner, and it was something that that is a flat image that you can then make spin and make a full revolution around. And if you haven't seen that tutorial, check out my channel Square Type, and you'll see that my latest video is the tutorial to make this. For this live stream, I'm just going to be reviewing how to assemble this again, and I'm not really going to provide much information with assembly, but I'm just going to give you a couple of insights into it. Maybe that will help you get more familiar with this pop-up, and that way you can be more confident with it. Okay, let me just get my paper here. So the first thing that I suggest is you use cardstock to make this, because cardstock is nice and stiff. It's not so flimsy, and also make sure that the paper is not sticky or even very slick. I would suggest that it just be, I don't really know much about paper, but that this feels very matte to me. It's got a little bit of like, it's just your normal cardstock. Okay, so, all right. The other thing I'm going to use that's different from the tutorial is that I got myself a hole cutter, like a hole punch, but you can use a blade to make your holes. It's just this, it's faster to do it this way. And then the other thing that I'm going to use differently is I'm going to use my fishing line instead of sewing thread. In my tutorial I use sewing thread, and that works fine. It's just that sometimes if the sewing thread is kind of not very smooth, or you get a part of the spool that's not very smooth, what happens is the fibers will catch on each other, and then it'll actually get stuck sometimes when you're pulling on that tab. So when you're pulling on this thing, sometimes the thread, because it's wound around about 3 or 5 times, and sometimes it'll catch on itself, and so you don't want that. So I think that a fishing line works best. I'm using the 4-pound test fishing line, so I suggest that you use that. Unfortunately, fishing line is hard to see on the camera, but again, just watch the tutorial video, and it'll actually show you how, with sewing thread that has color, how I actually wind it around. It's not that difficult. Okay, so one of the little shortcuts I do is I just put the fishing line inside of a plastic baggie, and then when I close it, I have a little piece of the string hanging outside the hole like this. That way I can just pull on it as much as I want without the whole thing unraveling and making a mess. Okay. Right, so I'm going to make my 7 pieces. You'll know what I'm talking about after you've seen the tutorial. And then I'll talk a little bit more about why I position things where they are and things like that. Okay, so first is my card. My card will have a hole in it because that's where the circle is going to be. That's where the thing that's spinning is going to be. The thing that I wanted to point out to you is, if you set the circle in the middle, if you set the object in the middle, the pull tab can only go as far as the top of the card, right? and then it can only go down as far as where the hole the circle starts. So it's really, you only have about this much of spin, kind of, yeah, spin to it. So if you notice, it only spins that much because it's in the middle and it's not giving a lot of room for more spinning on the with the string. God, I don't even know if I'm describing this right, but you know what I mean. Okay, so with this other example I've got the circle a little bit further down, like about almost an inch down, right? And if you notice, it spins, it actually makes a full revolution all the way around a couple of times, almost at least one full revolution. I think it's going about 1¼ to 1½, so, which makes a more interesting kind of spin. If you make this hole even smaller, like the size of a pencil, you know, like the radius of a pencil, then it's going to spin a lot more. So you can place it out here if it's a tiny hole, but a tiny hole is hard to insert the hub through. So just watch out for that. But if you want a lot of revolutions, either put it to one side of the card, you know, one edge or the other, closer to the edge. Remember, when it's spinning, your image still has to fit inside the card, so keep an eye on that. Okay. So that's something you have to watch out for, something that I didn't really describe in the tutorial. So here I've got my hole punch, and this kind of hole punch requires that you tape the parts down so they don't move around a lot, and then that way you can make your hole. There we go. This is a really cool hole punch, but I'm not getting paid or sponsored by the company that made that. I just bought it at the store. Okay, so now that I've got that, get rid of this, and I have that size hole. The next thing I'm going to make is the hub. So just taking that hole, transferring it to my piece of paper. So if you have any questions, this is a good time to ask me questions, because I can try to answer them in real time. Go ahead and text, and I'll be able to read your text. Okay. I hope you can see this. I decided to just use ambient light, the light from my window, to light this, because I wanted to see, because I'm having problems with lighting my videos correctly, because my lighting is always like shining off of the paper, and what happens is the brightness is causing the correction on the camera, I guess, the autocorrect, and you end up with this kind of flashing effect on my videos, and I'm really sorry about that. I have no idea how to fix things like that. It's not my personal interest, video editing and things like that. So, you know, it's kind of outside of my comfort zone. My comfort zone is more like crafting. Okay, so I've got this. Then I can make my zigzag. And also, I have no idea if you guys would prefer that I make these live streams, or if you just prefer that I continue to make my my tutorials and demos in a pre-recorded style. So let me know if you have an opinion about that. Okay, the next thing I'm gonna make is the oh, I forgot to tape this down. Oh, I hope it doesn't. Okay. Is the ring or the washer. That's what I'm making right now. The only thing about, I just can't tell where the center of this thing is, but it's okay. It still works even though it's not perfect. If the ring is not perfect, it'll still work. And then the last thing I'm going to cut is the hub, the cover for the hub cap. Okay, so I'm done with that. Get rid of this. My hubcap. Okay. Oh, that didn't cut all the way. No! No! Oh, gosh. I'm trying to be really careful with cutting stuff because every little part that's sticking out wrong, that's not a smooth cut, will actually catch on the string, and it's so irritating because that will cause the mechanism's really finicky when it comes to the string and how it's interacting with the paper. The paper has got to be just smooth, so smooth on all of its cuts. Everything's got to be a perfect circle. Everything's got to be just catch free. Anything that catches on it is just gonna ruin the whole thing. Okay, so I'm gonna have my pull tab moving like this. So I forgot to make a pull tab. Awesome. Okay, let me just make a pull tab. Also, let me know if, you know, in the comments below if you tried to make this mechanism and if it's been hard for you or easy, or, you know, I'm getting comments like the tutorials that I'm making are really informative. But I don't know how people are actually, you know, if people are finding success with the mechanism, if they've tried it. So let me know if you tried it and if you found it easy or hard, or if you'd like me to do more of this kind of thing where I'll do more troubleshooting on specific, sorry, I keep saying on specific mechanisms as opposed to, you know, just the tutorials and then go straight to demo. That might be helpful. I don't know if, but I don't know unless you tell me. I don't know if I'm wasting my time and wasting your time if you don't tell me how useful or useless it is. So, okay, I've got that. Okay, I've got my parts here, and then I'm just gonna pull about a little more than 2 feet of my string. Tape one side down like that, and then spin it around. I'm just winding it around the 2 flaps here, just all the way around. 1, 2, and then 3. I think I'll do 4 just to do 4, just to be fancy. And then I'll tape this side down over here. I've got some room between these two. Okay. So like I explained in the thing, see how that kind of binds up when you're spinning it? It's because it doesn't have anything holding it down. One thing that that I discovered that I needed was a washer, or like this ring here, to keep the string from binding up, you know, and like just unraveling inside of that. So this one was a handy discovery. So I'm just putting glue on the two of the outside edges of this thing. And now I glue on my thing. Oh, okay. So just like that, really easy. And then putting the glued parts on the outside edges, lining up my cut circles like that. It doesn't really take a long time to make these. Most of the time that it's taking me right now is just from talking so much. I'm not really comfortable talking while I'm crafting, but I'll do it for you guys. And that's the only way I can live stream, is if I explain what I'm doing, kind of. Okay, so putting my glue on that, my two flaps, make sure I have no glue anywhere else. Place my hubcap on there. I have to have enough patience to wait for the glue to dry. That's one of my failures. Okay, I'm just going to put a mark on one side so you can see it spinning on the camera, because I don't know if you can see it. Okay, so see how it binds up right there? That's okay. I just started this, and I just have to check where it wants to spin and where it doesn't like things. So it's spinning, so I'm just going to tighten it up a little bit. See if that's better. Kind of caught there for a moment. I put this cap off center, which is okay. It's not a problem when it does that. As long as there's a cap on top, it's okay. And look, now it's spinning pretty well. Okay, so I'm pressing down pretty hard, so like this. See that? Pretty smooth. Okay, so everything's good there. I'm just gonna take a piece of tape here, tape it on. While it's at the tension that I want that string to be, I'm gonna go ahead and tape the string to the card, so I don't mess up and forget to do that. Just taping the string to the card. Okay, so now I can remove one of these guys, and then I can attach it to the pull tab. So you notice with the pull tab, I cut about 1 centimeter in from the edge like that. That way I can wind it around. You don't have to do this, but this is what I do because I feel like it hangs on to the pull tab more than if I just, I don't know, if I just glued it on or taped it on. So I feel like that little slit there is going to help it just hang on and pull on it without being afraid that it'll pop off. Okay, so then I just slip the string through that slit and then wind it around, and then slip it through the slit again, wind it around the other way, and just keep winding and slipping that string inside until I feel like there's no way that it's going to pop off. You can also still put a piece of tape on top of this if you still feel like you don't trust it. That's fine. But if you're going to put tape on it, put it on this side of the mechanism, because if you put it on the other side, the tape might actually stick to other parts of the card, and that would not be happy. Okay, so now that I've got that, I'm going to take a piece of tape and tape this part down while I've got everything pushed down. Okay, so right now, let me just move this over. If you notice, my pull tab is really tall. Like it's much bigger than the card. And what you really want is the pull tab to be shorter than the card. So I want my pull tab down here where I can pull it down here. If I wanted, I could have had it up here, but my circle is down here. So it's got enough, if I have it, if I have my pull tab pulling from down here, there is enough runway from here to here to get this really spinning, versus if I have my pull tab here, there's only this much of a runway to get this spinning. This will do a quarter turn and that's it. So I want my pull tab down here. And then the other thing is I don't want this showing when this is down. So what I'm going to do is just take my tape off, retain the tension there, take the tape off on the other side. I'm retaining the tension with my finger here, and then I'm pushing the whole thing down to about where I'd want this to stop, which is nice. That's where I want it. Putting a piece of tape there, also a piece of tape on the table and card itself. Then I want about this much pull tab to show from the bottom. Ow. There, oh, that was hard. Okay, so now I have that. Just cut a new slit, and I can put my tape to maintain that tension here. Now I can take the rest and spin it around. Attach it to the pull tab. Okay. Right. Okay, so I'm about 25 minutes into my live stream here. Okay. Oh no, popped off. That's okay. Okay. So there. Now it's attached. It's okay. So I can take my tape off of the bottom here. Took it off the top. Just gonna test the spin again. And it's spinning just fine. See that? Woo! Okay, so the last few parts is a collar. I'm just gonna take a, like 3/4 of an inch. And then make sure that this collar doesn't touch that circle. That. And then like that. And take it off. And cut this off. Right where, oh, it's off kilter. So there's what that is. This off. There we go. And then on the middle part, the middle square there, some glue there. And then slip it underneath the string and the pull tab. And make sure the pull tab is centered on the circle. And then center the collar and push down. Now you can put some glue on either, no, put the glue here. Now I can close my collar. There's a little bit of glue outside, great. Okay. All right. The last piece, let's see if this blue thing fits. Yeah, it fits. Sweet. So I want it to be about that high up inside the card. And my string is coming off again. Oh dear. I don't know why, but my string keeps popping off now, which is okay because I'm about to glue it shut, so not a huge problem. Okay, so putting my paper there, folding that over, and just cutting it where the fold is. I also don't know if this is a good time to do a live stream. I can certainly do it on a different day. So right now it's about 2:30 on a Wednesday. This is one of the days that I can do this, but let me know if you would prefer a different day. I'm in the Square Type Studio right now, so I can record or I can stream live. Okay, so this collar actually does two things. Number one, it catches on the bottom, the top part of the cover for the pull tab, so that it doesn't, the pull tab doesn't push all the way through like that. It just catches right there. And also it keeps the pull tabs kind of straight as opposed to, you know, all the way to the left or all the way to the right. It keeps it a little bit more steady. Okay, so that's it. So now you can just take almost anything to attach to the front of that. So you can make anything like sit on that. So let me see. I've got some stickers here. I love my stickers. When I was in I think first grade or second grade, I had like, you know, my sticker collection. I was really proud of my binder of stickers. But there's still, you know, like a deep part of me that when I'm at the craft store and I'm staring at the stickers over at the scrapbooking place, that I just can't help it. I end up buying some that's probably not a good idea, but because it's probably something I'll never actually work with. I'll just stare at it. I'll just collect it, and then I'll put it in my binder. Lame. And then never ever touch it again. So this is cool. They're mermaids. Oh, but the problem is this thing is my hole was so big. I didn't really think about that. Oh. Okay, well, I'm just gonna try to make it like smaller. Try. And hope that doesn't cause like a problem. Hope. Alright. So as long as overall this thing is bigger than the circle, as long as it overhangs the circle, it should still be okay. And plus my mermaids, my mermaids are on these foam dots. Dang. That's not, that ain't right. Well, my seahorse isn't. I don't know what to do. I think I should find something else. Oh, I've got these other stickers. I like these. There's like a sale on the sea, the ocean theme things. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna put the whale. Oh, put like the fish there. I don't know why I'm obsessing over this, but but I'm loving it. Okay. All right. I gotta just do something. Ugh, what a nerd. Okay. Oh, I can't choose. They're all so good. Fishy. Okay. I have plans for Mr. Shark. So oh, you know, oh, I'm so excited right now. Ha! Such a nerd. Okay. 1 minute. I know I was going to show you troubleshoot, but I will. Just, let me build this mother. And then I will move on to that. Okay. Got some scrap orange. Oh my god. Okay. I love this idea. I don't know how I'm going to pull that off. Oh. Oh, that's a problem. Oh. What I wanted to make a raft, right? Like a raft. And then have my shark swim around it. But I don't know. I haven't really thought this through. See, I had another plan for the shark, but this seems to be a nice one. A better plan. Oh, sideways. Oh my god. That'd be cool if the shark swam around the raft, right? Raft. Orange. I need an orange pen. There. And then, what does a raft look like? It kind of looks like this, right? Kind of like that. And then doesn't it have like 2 things in the front and then 2 things in the back? And then it's kind of like that and like that. I think that's what a raft looks like. No clue. It's close. It's close. If it's not right, it's close. That's what I'm going to tell myself. Yeah, it's close. And then orange. I need to give it depth. Crap. Wait, is this the same color? That's the same color. Okay, here's red. Is that bad? No, that's not bad. Okay. So I will... Oh, that's horrible. Oh my god. Oh, that was a bad idea. Oh no, it's not bad. So it just looks deeper on the inside of the raft. I'm not going to really obsess about this, I don't think. Slightly. And then... I love crafting. Okay. Back to this. I'm just going to color this in. Oh my god, that's so much worse. I don't care. Okay, I do care. I care a little bit. Oh, shit. Ah! I got too excited. Crap. I'm making it worse. I can feel it already. Oh, I'm making it worse. Oh, okay, I won't. All right, so if I have this here, what's going to happen is the raft is going to turn, though. I wanted my shark to circle it. So I'm not sure how to do that unless I have the thing raised. And if it's raised, then the shark, like when this turns, if the shark is on like an arm, and then it spins around, the arm is, if this is glued onto something, the arm is going to get hit. It's going to hit against whatever this is glued to. Unless I have it like glued out here on a different arm, and then the shark can circle inside of this thing. Oh, I shouldn't have done this. Okay, so I need some glue. I guess if I take some blue, and then that could be water, and then I can have it. Oh, I could have it here. Oh, okay. I have a plan. Okay, here's my plan. Okay, first I'm going to attach my shark to an arm. So, is that my shark? Yes. No. Sorry. That's why I love the spinner, because spinner, you can do so much with it, you know? Like if you got a good idea, yeah. Okay. And then I got my glue here. Glue my stick onto it. Try to provide as much gluing surface as possible so it kind of hangs on more, like that. So now it spins like this, right? It just makes one revolution. Oh, should have done this a lot more. Okay, that's fine. I'm cool. Everything's cool. Okay. And then I've got my shark here. Oh, I better put something behind it, because that is very sticky. I'll do it in a minute. Okay. There it is. Too sticky for words. And do I have any plastic? Oh man. Oh, let's see. I gotta put plastic behind that. Otherwise it's gonna stick to everything, and then if it sticks to everything, then it's just gonna ruin the whole effect. So I'm just gonna use this thing to make it less sticky. This is sticky. What? Ah. Oh. Okay. Alright. There's my little shark guy. Plastic. My shark. There. Now there's plastic. I could probably take the time to cut that out, but I'm just gonna cut the big parts off. I'm not gonna stress about that right now, because all I want is for this to work right now. Okay, so here I've got my guy, and then like how far does the shark go? Okay, the shark leaves a clearance here of that much. So if I have this, oh no, it goes down below. Oh. I shouldn't have done this. Should not have done this. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, my beautiful shark sticker. No, don't stick to the thing. Yes. Okay, yes. Okay. All right, I'm just going to reserve that. We'll use this one later, okay? We'll just calm down. Okay, this guy is actually sitting in the middle of the card, so let's try that. Let's put something on here, a little bit of an arm. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of wow, this shark is sticky. It's a sticky shark. That's stuck on. And then put my plastic on there. My plastic is on backwards. Great. Awesome. That's the way we like it. Completely useful. Okay, good. So I've got a little more control over cutting right now. I'm just going to go ahead and trim that. Anyway, so this is the problem with crafting in real time, live streaming, is that I'll get stuck on a tangent and then I don't know if this is something you want to see. I still have to teach you a little bit of troubleshooting. I showed a little bit of when you're building it, you should try to keep that circle to one side or another. And that's a little bit of the troubleshooting. Now, if you have trouble making it spin, it may be, number one, because your hole is not, the hole you cut in the card is not smooth, or the folds on the hub, you know how you zigzag fold it? If you didn't zigzag that right, that could cause the friction that's stopping it. If you didn't, let's see how far this has to be. Looks like it's about that far. If you didn't use the kind of paper that is if you didn't use the kind of paper that actually is like regular matte paper, then the cardstock that I described at the beginning, then that could be your problem too, because it'll get in your way. It'll actually bind up on the string. Okay, this is taking an awful long time. Okay, I'm just so afraid that it's going to catch on the corner of the card here. So, oh, looks good. Okay. So, like I said earlier, since this circle is in the middle of the card, it only has this much runway up here to actually spin this. So that's kind of a bummer. So it only spins that much. Ugh. But that's still something. Okay. So because it's not spinning all the way around, I guess that's the positive. It does spin to here. I could have this sitting right there on a square stand, and then it'll be fine, because actually on a foam dot. Oh, I've got like a foam. You could just take a piece of foam and then just glue it on there, or just layer some cardstock, fold it over and over until you have kind of an accordion fold, and then you can get like that raised look. Otherwise, if you have foam dots or foam squares, here I've got some foam squares that I could just remove the adhesive backing off of, and then I can attach that to the card. But if you don't have this, just some foam is fine. It'll work just fine. Okay, so I've got this. Some there. And this is here. Okay, so if I get that here, I just have to make sure it doesn't hit any of this circle. So but then I've got what if I move one side and I just have it like this? Yeah, that'll work. So, you know, that's what that is some of the trouble that you're going to run into when you're if it doesn't spin the way that you want it to, or you know, the way that you expect it to, then that might be the trouble you're running into, is that it's not. Oh, and now my thing is in the way. That's what I was worried about. Be in the way. Seems to not be in the way right there. Okay. So there's my shark. That's oh, the sun is out. Going around my boat. Okay, so there's that. And then I'll show you to troubleshoot. Okay, so the other thing that you might run into when you're creating a card is that, let's say you were, let's go back to this guy. Let's say you were doing this and you're like, yeah, it's awesome. And then all of a sudden your sewing thread breaks. So let's mimic that. And, or you were doing something and then it just broke off. You're like, ah, now I have to start over. Well, not really. You don't really have to start over. What you do, because the thing that might be panicking you is the fact that you'd have to feed the string back through this hole. This hole is really the problem, right? So here's what you do with that. First of all, you can't really use your hub anymore. I mean, you could. Well, let's try to use it. But it's really kind of, that might be part of the problem, that the thing broke. So go ahead and take that out, and then take your string out and your pull tab and everything, and see how well that's hanging on there. It's really good. And there's no adhesive on that. That's you know, testament to the design there. Okay, just gonna take that out. Oh, for goodness sakes, come on. Come on. Let's go. Go, go, go. All right. You could probably reuse your same pull tab, but if you want, just get another pull tab. No big deal. Okay. So what you do is you just get your new piece of paper, that, and you just make a new circle, right? And you take your old hub. You could probably just reuse the same hub, but you know, if you want, you just make a new hub cap. And then everything else is still the same. You've got your pull tab and everything else. So then you make your two lines. This is really sad, but when you cut it, it cuts straight, so you're fine. Everything's cool. You know, that's why, part of the reason why I craft like this and on camera is, you know, so you can see that you don't have to worry too much about it. It's not about perfection, it's about creating, right? being creative. And if you get too worried about perfection and try and make all the lines perfect, and then you're just going to get pissed when it doesn't work. And then if you're pissed off, then you're not going to craft. It's not going to be something you're going to want to do again. Where's my ruler? Hello? Okay, there. It was hiding under my mermaids. Okay, so the idea is, you know, you should be able to slap things together and it would still work. At least that's the idea for my crafting, is that, hey, if you can just slap it together and it still works, all is well. So I'm just going to go ahead and trim this down. Whoop. No big whoop. There we go. Pretty, pretty. Stick it in through the hole like that. See, now everything's okay, right? Ah, but the string. Okay. So get rid of this. Rid of that. So let me just get more string, and then we can work with this. So I got my string, Ziploc bag it, zip it, and pull the string out. Got my 2 feet. It's probably more like 3 feet, but who cares? Okay, 2 feet of string, and tape it on one side here so I don't lose it. There it is. Okay, so this is how you feed it back through this thing. Number one, you can leave your collar on, but it's easier if you just take it off. It's just the collar anyway, no big deal. Not hard to remake. But just feeding it through that thing is just, oh, it's a nightmare. Okay, what you do is you take some regular printer paper, you know, because it's flimsier. And you notice you can feed it right through this hole, right? These 2 holes, like that. See that? So then what you do is you just take you take your string, right? Push this all the way through like that, then fold it over like this. And then you take your string and then you pass it through that. Can you see that? I hope you can see that. See, the string is on there? Okay. So what you do is you just pull this back. Just kind of press down on this to make sure it passes under those 2 things. And then here you have to be slightly careful to make sure that passes through. And now if you pull it all the way through, notice how the string goes all the way through. So there's your string. Now, with your string there, you can take your hub, your newly made hub, and put it through. And now you can take the string, take a pencil, and pull your string up into the air. Okay. Now make sure you tape down the other side of the string just to make sure you don't end up like losing it. So there's my other string, the other side. So here, I've got this all clear, all one thing. I'm just gonna wind it around. 1, 2, oops, 1, put my finger on it, 2, put my finger on it, 3, I'm gonna go 4 times around, put my finger on it, 4, okay, there. Now I can take this side off again and pull on it a little bit and make sure it's secure, okay. Now you did that. Tape this down. So now you can kind of test it. Okay, so it's looking good. We're back to being fixed. Just gotta glue my new hub. Where's my old hub? It's gone. Yeah. See, the old hub has like, you know, the weird catchy pieces. I don't want to deal with that. So I've got my new hub here. Easy enough. Oh, I've got 3 minutes left on my hour. Okay. So, cut fast. Oh, crap. I'm against time. Okay, it's not super smooth, but it'll work. Then I'm going to cut these shorter than the circle, like that, and then put the glue on. So I noticed that nobody asked any questions, so I don't have much to say then, which is kind of nice. Okay, so just gluing that on. Wait for the glue to dry. Hopefully I waited long enough. I'm just going to mark it on one side so you can see it spinning. So there it is. And now you can do the rest. Reattach your pull tab, and you're back to good. Okay, so let's just flip that over so you can see that it's working just fine. You can attach whatever you want to it. So that's it. That's my live stream for today. Thanks for watching. I'll try to do my live streams on Wednesdays from 2 to 3 p.m. for an hour, and that way you have an opportunity to ask me questions, and I also can just help you kind of troubleshoot and also design some different cards. And be sure to be subscribed to my channel if you don't want to lose track of me. If you don't like to log into YouTube to do that, you can just email me your email address. My email is on my the description below. I'll put it in there, and also for the replay, and then I'll put it in my it's in my about page on my Square Type channel. It's squaretype201@gmail.com. You can email me your email address or any other contact information you want me to have, and I will email you every time I have a new post or a live stream coming up, or any other projects that I'm working on that you might be interested in. Otherwise, just share this video with your friends, share the replay, and also, let me see. Let me know if you liked it or if you disliked it, or if you don't want me to do live streams, I won't do them. As long as you give me some sort of comment, some sort of feedback, and I'll know what to do or not to do. Just check out my other videos on my channel, Square Type. Thanks for watching. Bye!